Hello guys, SBTR here and welcome back to my Australasian Union campaign where recently we have just got the Syndicalist in power. Now things aren't looking too shabby at the minute. It's the balance of power for the Syndicalist or getting them involved is not brilliant, but we are hoping to change that a little bit. So we are prepping for the things to come. Okay, you guys can stop training now. You guys are not far off. How is this looking? Okay, we definitely need... Problem is we need civs. We're actually exporting. What are we exporting? We're exporting steel. Very nice. Does anyone want tungsten? No, I take it. Okay, so let's go. White Terror. We heard Jaquan Ascal speak of the White Terror horror stories that have been coming out of Madrid and Barcelona, and Kurt Eisner, Bavarian socialist, wanted to delve deeper into the topic of White Terror, and he was given to the floor. After hearing more stories that had come out of Germany, Austria, Hungary, Russia and Finland, the Congress members were ready to make their decisions. Another reason we must end the capitalists. So I'm wondering, Austria, do you have a way of getting Syndicalist in power? Maybe a way to get social radicalism. What was the one? Hungary? Oh, Hungary have a generic. That's a letdown. Could be quite interested to play as Hungary actually. And Finland. I think Finland do, don't they? These actually have a pretty decent focus tree. The Red Guard. Okay, so I'm guessing it's pretty similar to the Australia start, where the general elections you can somehow get the Socialists in power. Or Totalist. Okay. I know Norway can. And Norway normally do. That'd be interesting. How are you guys doing? Are you winning this war? Mm. Yes, but no. Oh, wow. Oh my god, they should absolutely smash them. Like, it should be an absolute walk in the park. What is going on? I take it KMT are dead. No. Not quite. And King are dying. Okay, this could be a bit more even than I thought. Losses. Nanjing have taken 31. Okay. 7 to 16. Why is it not showing? And King are at war with Nanjing. The world economic crisis and the role of the Third International. The stage being set for the revolution to begin. With the Berlin stock market crash, mass unemployment has arisen in Europe and South America, and trade unions have begun to grow in both as a result. An opportunity. Okay, nothing's kicked off in South America yet. Australasian Guard prepares for confrontation. The government have received word of large movements of Australasian Guard supporters, many of them headed towards New Zealand, where their paramilitary forces have set up temporary bases along the command of Field Marshal Thomas Blamey. While we do not know their plans, we have no intention to wait for these radicals to act. So far, after 100 Guard supporters have been rounded up throughout the Australasian Union, including members of the Centre Party as the leader, Eric Campbell. Campbell was resistant to the last, but to no avail, and was hanged during a live radio broadcast. Bloody hell! As an example to any sympathisers. Whether this will dissuade the Australasian Guard, however, remains to be seen. It's a bit radical. The first Congress of the Third International has come to a close and agenda has been met. Okay. These are finished training, so you guys can do this. Purge the army. Okay, we've got that one out of the way. Which means... yeah, we'll empower the ACTU before we invite British advisors. Because, to be honest, first we'll probably just go down the industry path. The Australasian Guard coup. Government forces scrambled today at the capital, found itself under sudden siege. Australasian Guard paramilitary troops took numerous officials hostage, led by Field Marshal Thomas Blamey and Major General Herbert Lloyd. As they attempted to take unlawful command of Parliament, their radio broadcast is blaring throughout Canberra, not only calling on Australasians to rise up against syndicalism, but claiming to have the full support of the Entente. This is outrageous interference in Australasian affairs, if true, but so far it remains to be seen if forces loyal to the ACTU will even win the day. The coup succeeds. Nope. The coup fails. Blimey forces flee the capital. Okay, so we are struggling with stability massively. So we'll go for this. And also this. Loss of control in New Zealand. It seems that Blimey's attempt coup was not the end of it. The Australasian Guard have found supporters in New Zealand government which strenuously object to our syndicalist ideas and the separation from the Entente. And over the last days, our control of the island state has deteriorated. Australasian forces are scrambled to prepare for war, even as several of our generals and a proportion of our fleet have switched allegiances. We are, it seems, headed for civil war. They cannot honestly think they can win. Well, I believe they probably do. That's another negative. Okay, we get 100 political power from this. So that leaves us with a few less officers. We're going to go for Frank Berryman here, and obviously we only have Brundle. We're getting negative command power, so that's something we need to change. New unrest, how do we get rid of that? Okay, down here, Syndicalist Restore Order. So that's probably the first thing we want to head for. To help out of our stability. War of New Zealand. Any hopes there was of regaining control of the New Zealand government peacefully has evaporated. We must now contend with the rebels prepped up by the Australasian Guard radicals and eliminate them if we are to have any hope of restoring order within the Australasian Union. A sad day for us all, indeed. The Australasian Union declared war on New Zealand. Well, no, they officially actually declared war on us. Okay, New Zealand have joined the Entente. Good. So that's us, little Australasian Union at war with the Entente. A call for peace. Tell them they are dreaming, which they are. Sorry, I should have read that. We do basically this event or decision just literally just keeps going and going and going and going until we've taken New Zealand. Once we've taken New Zealand, the offer is peace. So literally towards the end of this, they always naval invade. So what we have to do is just defend our island, let them run down the manpower, and then just after one of their invasions, we invade. Empower the ACTU. Completed. Invite British advisors. If there is a Briton to whom we should be loyal, let it be the ones who control the whole home island. The Crown might call them traitors, but they are the British people. How can they betray themselves? Let us invite the Union of Britain to join us in marching together towards a new future. And what does that give us? Air research time, naval research speed. Air research time up, naval research speed up. Does that air research, should that be air research speed? God knows. Construction 1. Good. So let's go for construction 2. And actually, do we go for civs or military factory or even dockyards? Don't need dockyards just yet. We are going to need civs. So let's go for one civ here. What's that one's build? So we just sit and chill for the time being. Oh, sorry, I've been on night shift. Manuel Carles assumes full control of Argentina. When Manuel Carles executed a coup against the Argentinian state on Christmas 1935, the nation was torn apart in a vicious struggle for control of the presidency. LP and forces from the Argentinian Navy quickly took control of the capital, but were stopped by forces from the army who began quickly asserting their dominance over the entire nation, leading to a bloody and drawn-out struggle. With the fall of Rosario, a vital railway hub for the inner regions, Carles has proclaimed his coup as a success and has assumed the presidency this afternoon after a rousing speech for his followers in Buenos Aires. promising vaster territorial expansion and an end to the red terror that plagues Patagonia. Okay. So, okay, he's nationalist populist. I think Paraguay normally goes. Elections in 1941. These are Sindhis. These are also Sindhis. Mexico, of course, is syndicalist. Oh, come on. And King is gone. I can't remember what Shodan do. They are paternal autocrats. Cube in Siam. News emerged from the Bangkok today that a group of officers in Telegistia, calling themselves the Karna Rastodon or People's Party, has successfully seized control of the government. Key government officials are under arrest, and the king and his heir are said to be safe and well looked after by the new government. A statement has issued by the new Prime Minister announcing that this was not a military coup but rather a peaceful transfer of power. What? Okay, so that's that one done. So, the syndicalists restore order. It has been a difficult road, but now the chaos must end. No more demonstrations, no more violence that cut off our own nose to spite our face. The path forward lies with the revolution, and the nation must now face the fact. And its effect removes new unrest. So that will give us plus 20% stability, and we will go in the positive command power. Union Syndicalista achieves Italian majority. The 5th Congress of the Socialist Republic of Italy has ended with the Union Syndicalista led by Palmieri Tegotteri continuing its mandate by achieving the majority of seats in the government. The Union Syndicalista has held control in the Republic since the end of the Weltkrieg, and this continuation of their regime signals a likely solidification of their alliance with the Communist France. I thought he was Mussolini. Or is Totalist Mussolini? Okay, France have gone Syndicalist, these have gone Maximists. Ooh. We're only making 3.5 guns a day. That's terrible. How long off? 121 days. It's not brilliant. what I think I might do now. Okay. You two are going to have this cavalry leader, and you boys can be based. We will put you. The problem is we want them to take the coast. I don't want them to sit here in the mountains. You know, they're not. That's farmland, right? Plains. So I think if you guys just come like, if you stand on this mountain, do we take? Yeah, attrition. Actually, one thing you can do, if you go up here, creation of the International Avant-Garde. Combined effort by the Commune of France and the Union of Britain is now a few days ago has birthed the International Avant-Garde, a programme that aims to create a unified art style for art and genre for music, as well as new literacy techniques, each of them encouraged to be socialist, unorthodox, anti-traditionalist and anti-religious. It's reported that artists, writers and musicians from all around the world will participate in the programme, from the United States to South Africa to Japan. The first festival to show off the fruits of the programme is planned to happen within 2 years at Cannes. Is this the draw of a new syndicalist entertainment? Truly curious. Okay, so you three go in here and you can start training. French operative. Of course. So we do need to be making more guns. We're only 389, but that is a long time. 101 days. So we're likely to fill up our guns before we... No? Okay. Syndicalist, restore order. Okay, so that's all we can do there for now. So... I'd like to get this. But I do want to go for this. But we can't do anything with the... I also need this. Let's go for the research speed for now. Hopefully these can do well. Go on, lads. Problem is, when they do start doing well, Thailand gets... Not Thailand. Is it Thailand? No, it's Vietnam. Vietnam forms. And then we're just screwed from there on. You guys training? Yes, you are. Fred Patterson-Shaw. As the Australasian Council of Trade Unions prepare itself for the coming First Congress, the government has become a hotbed of infighting and political manoeuvring. Perhaps as a result of this, syndicalist leader Fred Patterson was shot early this morning while exiting his offices in Canberra. Rushed immediately to hospital. Patterson was pronounced in good condition and is expecting to make a swift recovery. Through the assailant has yet to be caught. Calls has gone out from the highest levels of the ACTU appealing. Calls, am I even English? Calls have gone out from the highest level of the ACTU, appealing for calm and an orderly transition of power once the Congress is held. I am dreadful at reading from a screen. Okay, that's negative stability. $70 days on that. And okay, it's catching up. It's catching up. How long have you got? French Republic declared war on Chad. Really? I don't think I've ever seen that happen neither. And Chad are doomed. First Congress of the ACTU. While the Australasian Council of Trade Unions are having an increasing control of the government affairs, their first official Congress is a matter of great importance, which will determine the direction of the Australasian Union. As it begins its transformation into a proper revolutionary republic, the popular and progressive Fred Patterson appears most likely to win the support of most delegates. But the volatile speaker J.B. Miles has won many supporters to the Maximist cause, with his talks in mobilising the Australasian revolutionaries at any cost. It remains to be seen which the two will win the day. Okay, so that guy helps with totalism. Whoa, no, what did I just do? Oh, thank God for that. That was a mistake. What I wanted to do was have a look what's going on down here. Okay, we can go for new social reforms. Non-aggression pact with Chad? Yeah, sure, why not? East Turkestan declared war. Okay, we do have decisions. The Entente are gonna start the naval invasions pretty soon, potentially, unless they're all in Chad. I don't know why I go for dispersed industry. I know a lot of people prefer concentrated industry, but you get the same amount of factories. You get an extra 5% factory output. Same dockyard. Production efficiency base and production efficiency retention is massive. Factory bomb vulnerability is massive. And conversion speed bonus, which doesn't really affect me, but I just don't understand. I just think disperse is so amazing. That production efficiency base is massive. So it basically means if you start a new line of production, it's going to start off higher up the efficiency, which is huge. So we'll go for dispersed. Okay. Now, because we don't have manpower, but we don't particularly need it yet. Definitely need to get rid of this bled dry. Or do we get to upgrade the reserves? We'll carry on with this path for now. Extraordinary enthusiasm is building for the Victorian Football League Grand Final, with large numbers of people having been recorded attending the trainings for both the Collingwood Football Club and the South Melbourne Football Club. Despite the warm weather, the teams trained strenuously for the upcoming Premiership on Saturday at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Both sides are confident that they can take out the Grand Finals, but time will tell and who will succeed. Okay, we get some stability for that, which is good. We're still struggling for political power. South Melbourne takes the premiership. Around 76,000 spectators witnessed an incredibly close game between it with the South Melbourne Football Club securing their fourth premiership. Despite the organisation and training of Collingwood, South Melbourne was able to see through the tricks laid out and avoided giving up unnecessary marks. South Melbourne consistently played a defence, but managed to score one last behind in the dying minutes of the game to secure a 1-point victory. What a game! How far off? Not far off, really. Okay, so now they declare war. Oh, you've got a long way to go, pal. Can't see them winning that one. Unfortunately, military reforms completed. With the Australasian military suffering for the last 6 months due to the purge, leaders are confident to report that the order in the ranks have finally been restored. Commanders loyal to the syndicalist cause have replaced those with questionable loyalties, and thus any and all fear of future revolts coming from question and are put to rest. The Australasian army is firmly on the side of a revolution. Here we have 2 new generals. We've got some political power which was needed. Political power gain is good. Organisation's good. Recovery rate is good. Military leader cost, which is good. Daily command power. Cool. We do need war support. So let's have a look at these new 2 generals. Fano was one of them, wasn't he? Was it Laverick? No, he was already there. Yeah, he's similar to Mackie, isn't he? Mackie's a 2-2-1-2, 3-3-2-2. So he will probably be my marine leader. Our infantry equipment is old, very old. Most of it saw service during the Weltkrieg, and some sets have been around even longer than that. We must equip our army with modern gear, or else we will not stand a chance in another war. Okay. French Interlegionist, restore monarchy as such, for the good of France and her people. As a subject, I hereby humbly ask Monseigneur the Duke of Gules, heir of 40 kings, who over a millennium made France, to seize the crown and guide us towards the resurrection. The renewal of France, with a simple address to Parliament, Charles de Gaulle has called for the restoration of the monarchy. After months of political instability, it seems the French intrigueless. After the action Frenchists have finally got their wishes, but truth is, no one in France was surprised by this development. The royalist sympathies of de Gaulle were an open secret, and his seemingly inexorable rise to power is sure to end this way. Over time will tell the new regime will be able to maintain itself, let alone conquer the French metropole. Okay, so the Kingdom of France now. Are you a national populace? Okay, I don't think I've ever seen that. I'm not sure, I need to pay more attention. Okay. looking like the Entente should be invading us pretty soon. Okay, you guys can stop training now, which in a way should get us more guns. Kingdom of France. If you go here and start training. Ooh, Huey Long. Despite the massive instability rampant in the nation ever since the Great Depression in 1925, the presidential elections went forward and the voting results were clear. Huey Long of the American First Union Party is the 31st president of the United States. Huey Long is famous for his successful governorship of Louisiana, but he has received a lot of criticism in his populist policies and the usage of Minutemen Parliament to combat political rivals. The Socialist Party of America contested the elections results too, calling them rigged. Let's see what the Southerner can do as president. I'll give you this guy for now. And I think we need to start a doctrine. Which I'm guessing we're going to go for superior firepower because we're not going to have manpower to do anything other. So we want to hit hard with what little we will have. Okay, stability is rising. Right, okay, here comes the invasions. So you guys can start coming this way. You stay where you are, please. French. You stay here, you go that way. The AI is so poor at naval invasions. Okay, we can speed up a little bit. This annoys me because that shouldn't let it happen. So encirclement means that we should now get their resources right. Or do we go there, or do we just... Okay, relics of the... Can't do this yet because we're volunteer only. Can we actually change that? Cannot enact conscription laws, and I can't remember why. Might be this that we want. I definitely want. I want to get the research Sorry, I should have read that, shouldn't I? Rather than relying on outside assistance, our focus should be on expanding the ARC and ensuring that it has access to the best scientists Australasia can offer. Do we need to... requires all of the following, that's crazy. To get that we need 35 factories. So I think we get social reform and maybe end white Australasia. And then we go through industrialising. Don't like the fact that I'm taking... Okay, we do have infantry equipment now. Mustafa Kemal seizes power, fed up by the constant bickering of the Ottoman chambers of the deputies and hindered by the conservative and often royalist opposition. The Grand Vizier has used recent domestic events to centralise power around the position of the Grand Vizier. The maintenance of the public order decree issued in times of great crisis already led to the creation of various tribunals to sentence the enemies of the state and safeguard the Ottoman state. Let's have a look how our Russian buddies are doing. Not as well as I thought they would be, because surely so Finland and Germany have sent volunteers, but so is Britain and Commune. I'd love to send volunteers. Oh, Kuomintang are dead. That's not good. Even though Japan may do a number on them, it means we've got less people to support. Here comes the next one. Okay, you guys come down here again. So this is New Zealand's little invasion into it. Oh, Canada. Once you've done there, you can come back here. Yeah, we'll go for the political power, and the efficiency cap is massive. Plus extra research speed, so 35 days. Again, should be reading these. It is important to remember the scholarly pursuits are needed to maintain our position. Generous funding increase to the National University of Canberra will allow us to educate the masses and become a beacon of new research. Construction 2 is done. So we've gone for this. It's not 1938 yet. Do we try and get Marines now? 142 days. Or do we... Don't quite need to... 99 days. I am going to need Marines, I might as well get it out of the way. Should probably use that 100% or use it on one of these. It's only just turned 1937. Canada is now fully concentrating on us. Militarist revolt in Paraguay. Okay. The situation in South American nation of Paraguay has reached fever pitch of the government of Jose Felix Echegaria has finally collapsed in the wake of failed policy programs. Politically charged officers across the nation led their respective barracks in revolts against both the administration and their syndicalist rivals, but swiftly managed to seize the presidential palace in Asunción, ending serious hostilities. The nation now rests upon the iron grip of General Higino Morenigo Martinez and his troops, who are eager to, as they see it, restore Paraguay's lost glory and crush all of its enemies, both domestically and beyond the nation's borders. More coups, my word. Socialist in full control in Norway. God, after winning the elections and forcing King Haakon VIII to abdicate, the Socialist Party of Norway has now ratified a new constitution which fully turns the country into a syndicalist state, just like France and Britain, with another piece of the chessboard joining the syndicalist cause. The balance of power in Europe shifted yet again in the great game of chess between the Kaiser's domain and France's revolution. Also finally broke his chains. Good lad. Bloody good sport. Norwegian Union has joined the Third International. Pretty good. Okay, that's superior firepower done. We do go for that, and then after this dispersed industry, we can go for computer technology is in infancy, but already can see the benefits enough for the encryption and decryption efforts. Australasia needs to stay ahead of this, as our enemies will end up knowing our moves long before we do. Okay, you are trained, so you can join this guy. Cavalry leader. Do you think we do want this because we will be relying on cavalry quite a lot, I suspect. Just don't think we're going to have the factories to support motorization. A tense standoff has erupted in the United States as the elected president Huey Long fled the city of Baton Rouge and being forcibly removed from the position by General Douglas MacArthur from Baton Rouge. Long supporters have declared MacArthur's government illegitimate and have the northern supporters of syndicalist Jack Reeves based in Chicago and the Pacific governors under the leader of Governor Frank Marion. All have been given a deadline by General MacArthur of 30 days to either stand down or face arrest and execution. Considering all sides are rapidly raising forces, the idea that America seems heading into a second civil war seems almost certain. Come on, syndicalists. They don't seem to do very well anymore. Although, Chinese. Ooh, if you can get a cut off here, boys, you're on for a win. I tell you. That would help us massively. can almost improve workers' conditions. Which we can now do. Okay. Improve our weapons. Might as well do it. It's still early 1937. I do believe that is a 1938 technology. Might as well get it ahead of time. Okay, we have free civ. I think we want to build up infrastructure. We do, but we also want a military factory. Because we are going to need support equipment pretty soon, even though we don't have any aluminium to support that. And we will be industrialising pretty soon as well. More than anything, we need manpower. But we're not in a rush to take New Zealand. It's still early March. Very good. It's the first time I've seen that happen. But they should join the Third International now. But to be honest, I've always seen the Russian Socialists attacking the German Empire anyway, so I've never played the game till complete domination, to be honest. I just like the Second Weltkrieg. Obviously, we're going to be a bit more involved over here, so we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens with Holland as well. Because when they fall, Dusty Indies fall, and I would like to take this land for the population and resources, obviously. Force and computers. Focus on radar. Socialist victory in Russia. The dust has finally settled in Russia. Today, the world wakes up to the new Russia, a Russian controlled by Alexei Rykov, syndicalist forces. The geopolitical situation of the world has changed drastically, as now Germany faces a threat of syndicalism from two fronts. The syndicalist government in Russia has begun to rebuild. Now the world can only wait to see what comes next. A new era for Russia. How exciting. Pacific okay. The Civil War's kicked off. Oh, that could very much help. That is going to help. Forgot about that, because that's more volunteers sent to syndicalists in America and Spain. Okay, United States of America. Okay. The Second American Civil War. To those not in the know, it may seem that the crisis of the United States come out of nowhere, but experts agree that this was civil war years in the making. Since the collapse of the New York Stock Exchange in 1925, the economy of the United States has been sluggish and mired in deep recession. Now, the United States have collapsed into an all-out civil war between the supporters of the federal government, the combined syndicates of America, the right-wing American Union state, and the remnants of the democratic rule of the Pacific state of America. Remnants is freaking massive. Volunteers are pouring in from around the world to support one factor or another, with some characterising the bitter ideological conflicts as simply part of a wider global clash of ideas. Okay, the syndicalists. Syndicalists have the industry. They're all pretty similar manpower wise. apart from the Pacific. Okay, the Syndicalists have got the industry. Oh, factory-wide. How do I have a look? How do I have a look if they have what conscription law they have? Oh, here. Volunteer only. Volunteer only. Volunteer only. Export focus. Export focus. Export focus. Free trade. Are these market liberals? No. Come on, syndicates. Here's another thing as well. If we are at war with Canada for a long time, they can't send volunteers. In fact, the whole Entente can't send volunteers. So that should help. Yes, okay. These have got to cut off. Come on, guys. Ah, so Germany. Georgia, join the Reichspakt. Ah, so that's one way to do it, but you gain. If we want to do this while we're at war, don't we? War everywhere. Second International Congress. Our British comrades have confirmed the readiness to host the Second International Congress in London. It is time for the Australasian Union to confirm its participation. We shall attend. +4 stability. Very good. I wonder if we can get the party popularity of the Syndicalist up. Panama is joining the Entente. Okay, we can. We should be looking to do that once we've got some political power. The 1937 Workers Olympiad. Today, the 1937 International Workers Olympiad has been, I thought it's called the Spartacade, has been opened in Marseille. The ceremony was attended by the dignitaries and athletes from the entire socialist world. After a parade through the host city, a mass gymnastics event followed that ended up drawing a crowd of tens of thousands of people. Over the next few days, athletes both local and from abroad will participate in countless events such as athletics, cycling and football. Organised by the Socialist Workers Sports International, the IWO is conceived as the antithesis of the prestigious Olympic Games, where there are a showcase of elite competition. Our games are based on the mass participation and friendship between our peoples. That difference's conception has shown its effect in attendance numbers. Awesome, more stability. Republic declared in Serbia. Since the end of the Austrian occupation during the 1920s, Serbia officially became a kingdom. They never dared to crown a king, as they were forced to keep a low profile in the light of further Austrian aggression, bound to mounting internal pressure against his repressive regime. Peter Božović, the regent of Serbia for almost 2 decades, a voluntary step down. Slobodan Milo is now the first president of the Serbian Republic. Very good. I can't believe Hungary have a generic. There's so many countries I want to play as. I think what I'm going to be doing a Total War playthrough and also a Kaiserreich playthrough. So they'll be getting uploaded every week, obviously, or every day, but just take it in turns, I guess. Hawaii has joined the Entente. Okay. Focus on radar. Good. And radio is done, which is good. Hang on, I'm wasting days. Our research investments to date have paid off. It is time to increase our rate of advancement to keep pace with the larger nations in the world. Of course. Inauguration of the Second International Congress. With the delegates in London, the Second Congress of the International began with a speech of Comrade Eric Baer. In the so-called Shield and Sword speech, he underlined the need for the International to double its efforts towards forging the Damocles, a weapon capable of destroying the... Oh. Okay. I think we can join this somehow, can't remember. The Second International. The First Syndicalist International, held in Paris, dealt with the spreading of the ideology overseas, supporting syndicalist movements and strengthening the ties between existing syndicalist nations. Thanks to the gathering success, the Second International has been called and to be held in London. Representatives from the entire world were greeted by a British artillery salute, a Scottish bagpipe chorus, and the overall warm reception as Europe rolls closer and closer to war. Military and economic cooperation between the syndicalists is expected to be a primary topic of discussion, and France and Britain will once again call the shots in the international policies. Interesting. So does that mean that because Britain is Maximist, because isn't Maximist the way to... So this way gives popularity to totalism. I think this is the way if you go syndicalism, right? Or am I looking at the wrong one? How do you... Oh yeah, okay, Wales and it's this way. Okay, they are mobilising the industry now. We need to start doing that pretty soon. There's a lot we need to do pretty soon, to be fair. 24 days till Marines. Syndicalist revolutionaries. Oh, right, okay. Current reports are coming from the small mountain republic of Switzerland stating that syndicalist revolutions have entered the capital of Bern. Switzerland has long been a problem with the syndicalist activism in the western French-speaking regimes of Haute-Savoie and Romandie, but never have they ever had revolutionary forces act so openly against the government. With the spread of effectiveness of the revolutionary forces, many suspect the direct involvement in the French commune, which has long agitated for the cession of French-speaking lands. While there is fighting in and around other parts of the country, it seems the syndicalist forces hold the capital for now. Ooh. Greece have joined the Belgrade Pact. $1939. Well, hopefully they can get the coup. Oh, you chumps. They have volunteers sent from Britain, France and Bharati. They do not have any volunteers. They do not have any volunteers. Japan have sent volunteers from these. Oh wow. The Union State have a massive army, but they are the ones who are at war on all sides. Have they managed to? Not quite. Close though. Close. Hopefully they can get branch out. If they take this, then it stops New England from forming, I believe. Okay guys, that's been over an hour, so we're going to end the episode there. Thanks for watching. We will probably be navally invaded very soon. Within the next 12 days. Yeah, thanks for watching guys. Hope you're enjoying it. I certainly am. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.